The detective is already dead. Kind of. But not really. But she's never dead. She's kind of immortal. She's never really gonna die. Okay, she's not really dead. Is she dead? No, she's kind of just living in Natsunagi's head. She's not dead. Okay, no, she's dead. Okay, that's the problem, guys, that I had with this anime. So we're gonna talk about the very last episode. So today was the finale. This is the final review. Thank you guys for joining me on the ride all season for The Detective Is Already Dead. This has been a interesting anime. And one that I've told you guys, if you guys have been here with me every week, I told you guys this had unlimited potential, and it just basically went, it just let it go. It said, potential, we know, throw it away. That's not what the people want. You know what I mean? Like, so, the biggest problem that I had with The Detective Is Already Dead is the whole, she's dead, but she's not dead. And, you know, the whole time is she lives in Nagisa, or she lives in Natsunagi, right? You know, she was able to pass on her consciousness, her memory. She was able to do a full brain takeover. She was able to take over Hal, who was Alicia. And Hal had created Alicia as like a secondary, you know, persona. She's basically Sybil, right? She has like multiple personalities. So she was able to create a personality, Alicia. And she was able to transform, like use her transform ability to become smaller, younger. And she was able to basically yeet her, take her over and become Hal, then take Siesta's heart, and Siesta was like, ha ha ha, that's what I wanted all the time. I'm able to now take you over. And she took her over, and she was like, Hal, kick you to the curb. Goodbye, Hal. Yeet. Peace out. And Hal, he just rip. She's just dead now. She was able to take over her brain and whatever else, her body. She was able to manipulate her body, transform herself into Siesta with the little hair clips and everything. She was able to make her hair shorter, all of the whole nine. And then she was able to basically like take her completely over. And then she was like, but instead of just taking over this body, because I could do that, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to create another person. For no effing reason, I'm going to create another person who's really going to be with you, Kimmy. And I'm going to call her... Let me go into my database of RPG created characters. I'm going to name her Nagisa Natsunagi. And this new person is going to come into your life and really be... Like, what was the... If you could take over the body, just be that person. Like, why does Siesta have to die? You know what I mean? Like, if she could just live on forever, if she could implant her consciousness, implant her memories, what the hell's the purpose of creating another character? That also leads into a whole conversation about a person's soul. You know, if we have Alicia, if we have Hal living in the same body, you know, that comes into question about their souls. If Siesta was able to take over her, that means her soul never passed on because she's inside of Nagisa. And then she creates a character, Nagisa. Like, it's just a whole... There's just a whole mess. And I know we're just going to put it under the category, well, it's anime. But it's like, yo, I feel like the writer of this anime was, like, hopped up on Red Bull and had, like, 12 different ideas. And his editor or whatever was like, yeah, that sounds good. What happens next? Oh, that sounds good. What happens next? Oh, I don't know about that, but we're at a deadline. Push it through. What happens next? Push it through, push it through. And that's how we got to the end. Like, I just have so many problems with this anime. From I think that they should have been older, right? I think they should have been in their 20s because they constantly want us to suspend belief that these kids, 17, 16 years old, they could be traveling the world, not going to school, getting on planes with no supervision, carry guns on planes with nobody batting an eye, be detectives with no actual experience or identification, work with cops, and the cops don't, whatever. They ask for a detective on board, and they're just like, that's me. And no one says, like, oh, do you have, like, I don't know, an ID that says you're, I don't know, supported by anybody? Nope. Nope, I don't need it. I'm a detective. Believe it, baby. Believe it. You know, then they want us to believe that they're just drinking everywhere, you know, putting back whiskey on the rocks and stuff, you know, like they're like 17, you know what I mean? Like they're at bars. There's just so much about this anime that just drives me insane. And the reason that I nitpick so much about it is I've had this conversation with you guys countless times, is this anime had potential to tell a really cool freaking ass story about how a girl who was brought up in like some kind of like judicial system, who was brought up or who was created or who was, you know, put inside of like, you know, we know like a similar story is like, you know, like the like Black Widow, right? Like, you know, they had like Russian spies and they take them from a young age and they make them into spies. Like they could have a story where like, you know, they took Siesta, they made her as like the country's spy, like Japan's spy or Japan's detective for like a young age, and they have like a group that does it. And she's part of that group, and that's why she's able to have the authority to do whatever she wants, is because she's part of this group. And then the whole thing is her taking on a sidekick, and nobody's for it, but she pushes it through because she's one of the more achieving young detectives that Japan has. And she's able to get him the same kind of status, and they're able to actually show identifications and stuff. And that's why they're able to do some of the things that they did, you know what I mean? And, you know, then somehow, you know, they spend these years together going on missions, and the anime shows us these really badass missions that they went on. And then eventually some crazy thing happens, and she dies. And Kimmy the whole time is like solving the mystery of her death and using the clues that she's left throughout the past missions about maybe her even still knowing that, you know, her death was imminent, but her sacrifice was that so Kimmy could figure out why her death happened and then take down Spies, you know, with that information while solving her mystery and getting revenge on the person or the organization that caused her death. Like, this could have just been such a really cool mystery thriller anime. And they threw it all away for like this tropey shit. Like a bunch of tropey crap. She's able to pass on, you know, I'm sick. I apologize, guys. She was able to pass on her consciousness of immortality through a heart. And she knew she was going to die, and she sacrificed herself so she could save Alicia. But like, she didn't save Alicia at all. So like, her sacrifice didn't mean anything besides taking out Hell, which she could have just killed Hell instead of, you know, like, it hurts my brain. Just the convoluted writing just hurts my brain. It just hurts my brain. And I'm sorry, guys. If you love the anime, that's cool. You know what I mean? This is going to be one of those anime that I'm never going to watch again. Like, I've told you guys a couple of times in the past few weeks, I'm just disappointed in the anime. It had beautiful character. Like, it had beautiful art. Great production value. Had a fantastic main character in Siesta that they didn't utilize enough. Had potential for a cool story and plot that they threw away. And I don't know. If you loved it, you know, tell me I'm wrong in the comments. You know, tell me what you think, you know, you just, you know, crap on me. Like, tell me that I'm wrong or whatever. But, like, I just feel like this was just such a waste. Let's talk a little bit about episode number 12. So this one was talking about the 3 years I spent with you. You know, the one thing that was cool was, like, they had a moment that they shared with taking over Chameleon, and Siesta was like, hey, this happened this one time in the bedroom. Did we consummate our love? And I was like, yeah, cool. You know, this is a cool moment. I was like, you know what? At the end of everything, at least we know they loved each other and they took their relationship a little bit further to the next level. And then they share these stupid ass smiles with each other, and they're like, Kimizuka's like, you know what? Unfortunately, we actually never actually did it, you know? And they're like, and I'm just like, yo, for real, like, we couldn't even get that to say, like, oh, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we took our relationship to the next level. Like, no, it was still, like, just this BS relationship. But, you know, in the episode, they took down Chameleon. They shared their thoughts with each other. Siesta took over Nagisa's body. She explained to Kimmy what happened. She told him that she's going back into hibernation forever. She's going to die. Then, you know, Nagisa comes into play, and, you know, he tells Fubi that he's never going to tell Nagisa, but yeah, he does tell Nagisa. And instead of letting her go and live her life, he's like, you need to be a detective forever. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to be a detective forever, you know, because that's my promise to Siesta. And she's like, come to my room later, you know, and Siesta's still glistening from the eye, but she was supposed to have died. You know, and then they're like, is there a detective on board? And they're like, oh, that's me. And then they run to go do their final mission. That's episode 12, guys. I'm sorry. I hate being pessimistic and stuff, but like, it was bad. It was just bad. It is what it is. That's the end of the season, though, guys. There's going to be a ton of more anime coming this fall. I'm going to have an fall anime video coming out in this week. And that video will show you all the anime I'll be covering this season in the fall. Hopefully we get some legit anime. But like I said, if you guys love this anime, no hate. Like, I get it. I get the reasons why you loved it. I just ended up hating it. I ended up not liking it. And it's sad because I did like it at first. I thought the first episode was one of the most badass episodes I've ever seen of an anime. And it just went downhill from there. But that's the end of the anime. That's episode number 12. I appreciate you guys being here all season long with me. Thank you guys for joining me each and every single week. That's the end of the anime. If you guys missed our reaction, check it out here. I'm kind of pessimistic in there too. It wasn't a great episode. But if you guys want to go see it, that's where it is right there. I'll see you guys next season in the fall. When the fall leaves fall and we go Halloween and trick-or-treat and all that. We'll see you guys in the fall. Peace out, friends.